They laughed at me in front of everyone. My mother-in-law leaned across the dinner table, smiled sweetly, and said, "So, what exactly do you do all day?" Her friends laughed. My father-in-law added, "Some people are born contributors, others just marry well." My husband stayed silent. I smiled, because I already knew something they didn't. I was invisible by design. I married into money, old money, the kind that smiles politely while cutting you open with words. From day one, I was less than. Not educated enough, not polished enough, not useful enough. They called me sweet, in public and dead weight, behind my back. At family events, I was seated away from conversations about business and investments. They assumed I had nothing to add. They were right about one thing. I wasn't adding anything. I was building quietly. They took credit for my sacrifices. When my husband started his company, I supported everything. Late nights, unpaid bills, relentless stress. I handled logistics, contracts, accounting, things no one noticed because they just worked. When the company finally succeeded, his parents celebrated with him. They toasted their parenting. They joked, "Good thing he didn't listen to your advice." I had written the advice, but I let it go until they crossed a line. They tried to erase me completely. At a family gathering, my father-in-law announced a restructuring of assets. My name was missing, not an accident, he said. We want to protect family wealth from outsiders. I was married to their son for 10 years. My husband looked uncomfortable, but said nothing. That night, I stopped explaining myself. I stopped defending my worth, and I made a decision. They didn't know what was in my name. What my in-laws never bothered to ask was how things functioned so smoothly. They didn't know the supplier contracts were under my LLC, the property leases were in my name, the patents were filed through my firm, the tax optimizations were my structure. Because when they ignored me, they also ignored paperwork. I didn't hide it. They just never looked. They needed me when everything collapsed. When the economy dipped, their empire cracked. Banks pulled funding. Partners panicked. Legal notices arrived. Suddenly, they wanted meetings. My phone rang. My mill cried. My feel swallowed his pride and said, "We need your help." I listened. Then I said calmly, "I don't do favors for outsiders." Silence. They begged. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't gloat. I simply declined. Because respect offered only in desperation isn't respectful. They lost power. I kept mine. My husband finally spoke up. Too late. We separated peacefully. I retained control of what I built. His parents downsized, sold properties, lost influence. At the next family event, I wasn't invited, and for the first time, I felt free. Never ignore the quiet one. Some people don't fight for attention. They fight for leverage. They watch, they plan, they wait. And when the moment comes, they don't need revenge. They already own the outcome.